Alright, this is early on in the before process. Alright, so far we've just added on 5 standards for shelving. And if we swing over to the right, by the shower, we have the gas cylinder, and we have the existing 3/8 inch copper line. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to hijack that, we're going to connect that, and then run it up on the corner of the wall over here, and come down, have a regulator, then to a high pressure liquid nitrogen Dewar for the gas supply. At the compressed gas cylinder end, we have a 4-foot section of compressed gas hose, also according to McMaster Carr called pigtail hose sometime. Our NPT, so this has a 1/4 inch NPT female fitting, so this is the nipple that goes into the CGA 580, this is the CGA 580 nut. And then this is the male NPT, going to go into a 0 to 60 PSI regulator. This pigtail hose is rated to 3,500 PSI. Input of this regulator is rated 500 PSI on a high pressure liquid nitrogen Dewar. The maximum pressure is going to be 240 PSI. Right? And then we're also going to have a shut-off valve, alright, that's going to hook into, that's going to screw into there, and then an NPT to 1/4 inch swage lock adapter to make our connection to the 1/4 inch copper tubing, which is then going to make its way and connect to the 3/8 inch copper tubing that's originally there via a 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch compression fitting adapter. And so here we have our assembly. Alright, so this is the pigtail, this is the connection to the either the compressed gas cylinder, well, we don't want to have it connected to the compressed gas cylinder direct, to the high pressure liquid nitrogen, because the input side here is only rated to 500 PSI, and if we connect it to a regular gas cylinder, it could be exposed up to 3,000 PSI. So this is going to get tagged for liquid nitrogen Dewars only. Okay? And so connection is to, on the regulator, to input side. Right, there's the output side, has a shut-off valve, that's open, shut. Alright, and then we have our tubing connection. And this is roughing in the copper line to where the regulator and the pigtail hose are going to be. The brackets for the shelf haven't been snapped in, so that's why they're crooked right now. One option is to have the regulator sort of like just hanging off from a hole in the shelf, right? Or we can put it in sort of a screw eye bracket like this, and a little bit of wire to hold down the regulator to the hold it securely in the bracket of screw eyes, and we'll also then connect up the 1/4 inch copper tubing. Alright, used about 3 feet of 16th inch stainless steel wire to wire down the regulator. 16th inch might be a bit too thick, but it definitely won't fall off. It is definitely earthquake stable. Alright, so it's hooked up. Next we'll have to test it with a liquid nitrogen Dewar and for the gas connection, and then tag the pigtail so that it's designated only for connection to the gas output of a liquid nitrogen Dewar, because the regulator is only rated for 500 psi input, and if somebody were to connect a compressed gas cylinder to it, you could blow it out. Alright, so I've hooked up the high pressure liquid nitrogen Dewar, and I've rotated it this way so that I can see the output pressure of the gas on the liquid nitrogen Dewar. Alright, and so let me get closer. And alright, so it's about 210 psi, and I've set the pressure on this guy to 10 psi, and let's test to see if we have some flow. Alright, so let's see, one of these is nitrogen. Yeah, okay. And then we turn this off. Alright. Off. Okay. Let me turn the pressure down here. Maybe like seven psi. Whoops. And let's test this again. Okay, I can hear the flow. Alright, so last thing to do is on this pigtail tag it for connection to liquid nitrogen Dewar only. Sometimes an extra tag doesn't hurt. So anyway, now we have two labels, two tags, label both sides of. Alright. Now the shelf is a nominal 1x6 and supported by shelf brackets, the ends of which have been cut off instead of going to the trouble of buying new special ones. And in and then the wooden shelf is attached to the bracket with 3/4 inch by number 6 sheet metal screws that are screwing into the wood and firmly attach this. See? Tough. Alright. So, I failed to mention that earlier. So, sturdy.